Hey everyone, welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. In today's episode, we're going to be studying a piece by the 3D artist known as fesq, and in this episode, we're going to be looking at this rather dreamlike display. We're also going to explore the possible symbolism of this strange yet stunning scene. So let's just jump right into it. So at first sight, we see what appears to be this multi-tiered and multi-layered construct set in center space. It is no doubt a very mystical introduction to this stunning scene, and of course the placement in center certainly accents itself, and of course we also see this light accent against a darker background beyond. This certainly defines form, makes it absolutely impossible to miss. And on that topic, the sense of form here, right, we have what appear to be about 5 different prisms placed one upon another. This gives a sense of rhythm as the eye is drawn from one to the other, and also, of course, these archways also help that as well. There also is a grand sense of scale here, right? We have what appears to be about 3 human subjects within the composition that gives an amazing sense of reference for the scale and the size of this work. Also gives a sense of realism to the work at hand. You can certainly imagine being in something like this, especially since we have those human subjects as a reference. And the colors within this work, right? We have what appears to be red and blue. Red and blue are pretty close to a complementary color scheme. Technically, they are 2/3 of a tetradic, but they're going to be contrasting each other and certainly going to be fighting for the viewer's attention. So, of course, that gives an incredible contrast to the work at hand as well. Wanted to ask you guys, how do y'all feel when you view this composition? Of course, the setting of the scene is rather strange, right? We see what appears to be water or tiles of some kind or another, and of course the background is this massive cosmic sky. Within this work, these stars, they just drown us out. There's an incredible sense of scale that reminds us of the true size and scale of it all. And of course these subjects within the work, I wonder what exactly they're doing. The title of this work as The Observatory may help to point to exactly what is happening here. Perhaps they are observing the stars, perhaps they are observing each other. And I also see this woman or this feminine figure standing at the top of the composition, and I can't help but feel like they're connected, although I can't prove that with any set certainty. Within this work we have 2 subjects at the bottom. Both are male subjects that are walking away from each other, and at the very top or the peak of this composition we have the lone feminine figure. So this may, be connected in some way or another, although it's hard to say with any absolute certainty. But the feminine figure at the highest peak of this work, she appears to be the one who is most observing the stars, and perhaps these lone subjects are competing for the woman's affection. Perhaps they're just, walking away from this composition. Perhaps I'm looking too deep, but regardless, it's a very strange, stunning, and even symbolic scene perhaps. Also, I talk about the sense of the dream, right? This setting feels quite surreal in a way. This isn't something that you would see in any day-to-day life. Of course, the architecture of the scene is quite reminiscent of brutalism. It is very bare bones, if you will. But regardless, it's hard to say exactly what is going on or where exactly we are. All we have to work with is the title as The Observatory. So with that in mind, I wanted to ask you guys, what do y'all see when you view this composition, or what do you think is going on? The original artist really loves this color palette, this red and blue. I have some additional works, and I'll bring those in real quick and see what we can learn here. All right, so I got 2 additional works here, both from the original artist known as fesq, to compare to the original work here. Of course, you can see the artist really loves this color palette, this red and blue. They certainly contrast quite well, and he also loves to use this sense of scale within the work at hand. Like I said, he's a 3D artist, so the original artist works within the digital rendering program known as Cinema 4D. This gives this very realistic sense to each one of the works which the artist creates. And I also notice, the figure appears to be the same in both of these works, using some of the same assets, but regardless, I want to bring in these 2 works to kind of point to the almost sci-fi nature the original artist works with quite often, and of course the color palette, which the artist also loves, that red and blue, and this grand sense of scale. We absolutely love to see it here. So that's really all I have for today. Like I said, this work is quite surreal in a way. It even reminds of a dream in different ways as well. Once again, I wanted to ask you guys, what do y'all see when you view this composition? What exactly do you think is going on here? Like I mentioned previously, this is a digital render, so it's created within a 3D art program known as Cinema 4D. Incredibly realistic and does an amazing job of immersing us within that realism. We talked about so many different things today, from the sense of scale, the possible symbolism of this work, the observatory as the title, looking under these stars, observing them in some way or another. So many different things we hit on today. I really hope y'all enjoyed. Y'all enjoyed today? Go check out the original artist fesq. Like we saw, there's 2 additional works as well. Really loves that color palette of the red and the blue. Really loves the sense of scale, the realism of the digital render, and even some, sci-fi scenes as well. So this artist has a lot to offer. I think you'll really enjoy. Regardless, if y'all enjoyed, go check out the original artist fesq. My name's Apollo. This was Apollo Art Analysis, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Apollo Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.